A terrified elderly woman was shoved to the ground outside a busy supermarket, while frightened shoppers looked away, and the only person who rushed forward was a struggling single dad working as a cashier. He stepped between her and the angry men chasing her, never knowing that the trembling woman he was protecting was the mother of one of the richest billionaires in the country. Within minutes, security was called. His manager accused him of causing chaos, and he was fired on the spot. What seemed like the worst day of his life would soon become the day that changed everything forever. Before we continue this unforgettable story, please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share it with someone who still believes in kindness, and subscribe to Soul Tales if you believe that one good deed can change a person's entire life. Your support helps these inspiring stories reach more hearts around the world. Every morning before sunrise, Daniel Carter woke in a tiny apartment where silence had become both his companion and his burden. 3 years earlier, he had lost his wife to a sudden illness, leaving him to raise his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. Every dollar mattered. He worked long shifts as a cashier at one of the busiest supermarkets in the city, often skipping lunch so he could save enough money to buy Lily the little things she loved, like colored pencils, library books, and the occasional ice cream after school. Although life had become an endless cycle of bills, exhaustion, and sacrifice, Daniel refused to let bitterness enter his heart. He believed that even poor people could be rich in kindness, and that belief became the lesson he tried to teach his daughter every single day. The supermarket was always crowded with impatient customers, noisy shopping carts, crying children, and constant announcements echoing through the building. The employees were expected to work quickly and never leave their stations without permission. The manager, Richard Lawson, cared more about speed and profits than compassion. Mistakes were punished immediately, and acts of kindness were often dismissed as wasted time. Daniel knew the rules well because he had already received several warnings for helping elderly customers carry groceries instead of immediately returning to his register. Even so, he could never ignore someone in need. That afternoon, dark clouds gathered over the city as rain began falling outside. Through the supermarket's large glass windows, Daniel noticed an elderly woman struggling across the parking lot with several shopping bags. She moved slowly with the help of a walking cane, her elegant clothes soaked by the rain. Before she could reach her car, 2 aggressive men approached her. Their angry gestures quickly turned into physical force as one grabbed her purse while the other pushed her backward. She fell hard onto the wet pavement, unable to stand. Shoppers froze, unsure what to do, while many simply walked away to avoid becoming involved. Without thinking about company rules or his own job, Daniel rushed out from behind his register and sprinted into the storm. He placed himself between the frightened woman and the 2 men, helping her back to her feet while shielding her from further harm. His courage surprised the attackers long enough for nearby customers to begin recording the incident on their phones. Realizing attention was growing, the men fled across the parking lot before police arrived. Daniel remained beside the elderly woman, making sure she was safe despite the rain soaking through his uniform. Inside the supermarket, Richard Lawson was furious. Instead of thanking Daniel for protecting a customer, he accused him of abandoning his register, creating unnecessary disruption, and damaging the store's reputation. In front of shocked employees and customers, Richard publicly fired Daniel, demanding he hand over his employee badge immediately. Daniel tried to explain that someone could have been seriously hurt, but the manager refused to listen. Humiliated and unemployed, Daniel quietly gathered his belongings while the elderly woman watched with tears filling her eyes. Before leaving, she gently thanked him and promised she would never forget what he had done, though Daniel expected nothing in return. That evening, Daniel returned home carrying the weight of uncertainty. Lily immediately noticed his sadness but still greeted him with the warmest smile. She hugged him tightly and reminded him that her mother always said good people never truly lose because goodness eventually finds its way home. Those simple words became the only light in an otherwise hopeless night. Daniel searched for new jobs online, but opportunities were scarce, especially for someone who needed flexible hours to care for a young child. Meanwhile, the elderly woman arrived at an enormous estate overlooking the city. Her name was Eleanor Hayes, and she was not an ordinary shopper. She was the beloved mother of Ethan Hayes, a billionaire entrepreneur known for leading one of the country's largest retail companies. After hearing everything that had happened, Ethan was deeply disturbed. His mother explained how one cashier had risked everything to protect her while everyone else stood still. She also described how that same man was punished instead of praised. Ethan immediately requested security footage, witness statements, and every available detail about the supermarket. Within 24 hours, the truth spread rapidly across social media. Videos recorded by customers showed Daniel shielding Eleanor while others stood watching. Millions of viewers praised his bravery, while criticism toward the supermarket exploded. News channels covered the story, questioning why an employee would be fired for protecting an elderly customer from violence. Public pressure mounted, and the supermarket's corporate office launched an urgent investigation into Richard Lawson's actions. Daniel remained unaware of the growing attention. He spent his days attending job interviews that led nowhere, and his evenings reassuring Lily that everything would be okay, even when he wasn't sure himself. Despite his own struggles, he continued helping neighbors, carrying groceries for an elderly couple in his apartment building and volunteering at Lily's school fundraiser. His kindness had never depended on recognition, and unemployment did not change who he was. Several days later, a black luxury car stopped outside Daniel's apartment building. Ethan Hayes personally stepped out and introduced himself. Rather than arriving with cameras or reporters, he came only with gratitude. He thanked Daniel for protecting the most important person in his life and admitted that no amount of wealth could repay such courage. Daniel was overwhelmed, insisting he had simply done what anyone should have done. Ethan quietly replied that the world had proven otherwise. Instead of offering charity, Ethan offered opportunity. He invited Daniel to become customer experience director at one of his flagship stores, explaining that someone who naturally placed people before profits was exactly the kind of leader his company needed. The position included excellent pay, healthcare, flexible hours for Lily, and leadership training. Daniel hesitated, doubting his qualifications, but Ethan reminded him that character could never be taught in a classroom. Skills could be learned, but integrity was priceless. Daniel accepted with humility and worked harder than ever. His compassion transformed the workplace. Employees felt respected, customers noticed the difference, and complaints dropped dramatically while customer satisfaction reached record highs. Daniel introduced programs to assist elderly shoppers, families with disabilities, and struggling parents, proving that kindness and successful business could exist together. The company flourished because people finally felt valued instead of rushed. As for Richard Lawson, the investigation concluded that he had repeatedly violated company values through unfair treatment of employees and customers. He lost his managerial position, not because Daniel sought revenge, but because his own actions revealed the kind of leader he had chosen to become. Daniel never celebrated Richard's downfall. Instead, he hoped the experience would teach him that compassion is never weakness and that true leadership begins with humanity. Months later, Lily stood beside her father during a company charity event honoring everyday heroes. Eleanor proudly embraced them both, calling Daniel the son she never had. Looking across the smiling crowd, Daniel realized that the greatest reward had never been the promotion, the salary, or the public recognition. It was knowing that one selfless decision, made without expecting anything in return, had given his daughter proof that doing the right thing is always worth the cost. If this story has touched your heart so far, please leave a like, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to Soul Tales. Your support allows more inspiring stories of kindness and hope to reach people who need them most. Special request: comment below with the words, "Kindness always wins," if you believe that one brave act can change someone's life forever. As Daniel walked home that evening holding Lily's hand beneath a golden sunset, he finally understood a lesson life had spent years teaching him. Wealth may build beautiful homes, but only kindness builds unforgettable legacies. The world often rewards power first and compassion later, yet sooner or later, genuine goodness always finds its way back. The cashier who lost his job for protecting a stranger did not become a hero because a billionaire rewarded him. He became a hero the very moment he chose another person's safety over his own comfort. And sometimes, the smallest act of courage becomes the beginning of the greatest blessing a family could ever receive.